Dr. Choi Miran's fingers moved quickly across her control panel as the Soul's fury raced through the chaos of the alien fleet. Around them, disabled ships drifted like dead giants while others fired desperately at the elusive human vessel. "Connection established," she announced. "I have access to their primary command network." Captain Kim felt his heart race. This was the moment everything had been leading to. "Deploy the Cascade virus." "Deploying now," Dr. Choi replied, pressing a single button that would change galactic history. Deep in the Soul's Fury's computer core, a program activated that had taken humanity's best minds 30 years to perfect. The Cascade virus was unlike anything the aliens had ever encountered. It wasn't designed to simply disable ships. It was designed to turn their own technology into a weapon against them. Chief Science Officer Bae, Sung-min watched his displays as the virus spread through the alien network. Initial penetration successful. The virus is moving through their quantum communication system faster than their security protocols can respond. The effect started small. A few ships in the third ring began showing system errors. Navigation computers started giving wrong coordinates. Weapons targeting systems began firing at empty space. Shield generators flickered on and off randomly, but the cascade was just beginning. Supreme Chancellor Mordeth stood on the bridge of the Apex Throne Station, watching reports flood in from his fleet commanders. "What is happening out there?" he demanded. "Unknown, sir," his tactical officer replied nervously. "Ships throughout the fleet are reporting system malfunctions." The problem seemed to be spreading from vessel to vessel. Mordeth's black eyes narrowed. "Spreading how?" Before anyone could answer, the lights on the Apex Throne's bridge flickered. Emergency alarms began sounding throughout the massive station. The reality-warping shields that protected the station from attack started fluctuating wildly. "Sir," the tactical officer said, his voice rising in panic, "the station systems are being affected too. Whatever the humans did, it's spreading through our entire network." The Cascade virus moved like wildfire through the alien fleet's interconnected systems. What had started as minor glitches rapidly escalated into complete system failures. Ships that had been firing moments before suddenly found their weapons turning on their own allies. Admiral Kelthar of the Hegemony watched in horror as his flagship's gun swiveled toward a nearby Crystalline Empire cruiser. "Weapons control, cease fire immediately." "Sir, we have no control over the weapons systems," his weapons officer reported. "They're operating independently." The Hegemony flagship opened fire on its ally. The crystalline ship's shields held, but return fire was automatic as its own corrupted systems identified the Hegemony vessel as a threat. Within moments, ships throughout the fleet were firing on each other as their targeting computers failed to distinguish between friend and foe. Pilot Kang Min-ho guided the Soul's Fury through the growing chaos. Where once there had been organized formations, now there was complete pandemonium. Alien ships collided with each other as their navigation systems failed. Others spun helplessly through space as their engines shut down or fired in random directions. "This is incredible," breathed Communications Officer Shin Da-young as she monitored alien transmissions. "They're completely losing control of their own fleet." The Cascade virus continued to spread and evolve. As it moved through different alien systems, it adapted to each species' unique technology. Hegemony ships found their quantum cores destabilizing. Crystalline Empire vessels discovered their crystal-based computers turning to dust. Ethereal ships watched their reality-warping drives tear holes in spacetime. "Captain," reported Medical Officer Oh Jung-ai from the ship's medical bay, "I'm detecting massive casualties throughout the alien fleet. Life support systems are failing on hundreds of ships." Kim felt a moment of doubt. This had never been about genocide. Humanity had wanted to prove they wouldn't be conquered, not to destroy entire species. But the cascade effect was proving impossible to control. "Dr. Choi," he called out, "can we limit the virus's effects? Focus on military systems only?" Dr. Choi shook her head grimly. "It's too late, Captain. The virus has reached critical mass. It's rewriting itself as it spreads, adapting to every system it encounters. I can't stop it now, even if I wanted to." The Apex Throne Station shuddered as its ancient systems turned against each other. Reality began to warp around the massive structure as its space-time manipulators lost all coordination. Sections of the station simply ceased to exist while others were duplicated in impossible geometries. Supreme Chancellor Mordeth felt his perfect control slipping away. For thousands of years, the ethereals had dominated galactic civilization through superior technology and strategic thinking. Now a single human ship was destroying everything they had built. "Send a message to the human vessel," he ordered desperately. "Offer them terms. Offer them anything." But his communication systems were already corrupted. The message that reached the Soul's Fury was a garbled mix of languages that made no sense to human translators. Chief Engineer Lee Dong-min monitored the Soul's Fury's systems carefully. The ship was designed to be immune to its own virus, but the cascade effect was so powerful that even their hardened systems showed signs of strain. "Captain, we need to maintain distance from the worst affected areas," he warned. "The cascade is generating quantum feedback that could damage our own electronics." Kang Min-ho adjusted course, moving the Soul's Fury away from a group of ethereal ships that were literally tearing holes in reality as their drives failed catastrophically. Space around them flickered between different colors and dimensions as the laws of physics broke down. "Sir," called out Park So-young from her tactical station, "alien fleet casualties are approaching 50%. Most of the remaining ships are operating at severely reduced capacity." The numbers were staggering. In less than 2 hours, humanity's cascade virus had accomplished what would have taken conventional weapons days or weeks to achieve. The most powerful fleet in galactic history was destroying itself from within. "Captain," Dr. Choi said quietly, "we need to consider our exit strategy. The cascade effect is still growing. If it reaches the critical threshold, it could spread beyond this system through the aliens' quantum communication networks." Kim realized the horrifying implication. The virus could potentially reach every alien world in the galaxy, turning their entire technological civilization against itself. Navigation Officer Nam Hye-jin looked up from her station. "Captain, long-range sensors are detecting approaching ships. Human ships. It looks like the Earth Defense Fleet received our transmission and sent reinforcements." Kim almost smiled. Typical human response. When one of their own faced impossible odds, they came running to help, even when they knew it might be too late. "Sir," interrupted Bae Sung-min urgently, "the Apex Throne Station is showing critical instability. The cascade has reached their core systems. If that station explodes, the energy release could destroy everything in the system, including us." Kim looked out at the chaos they had created. The alien fleet was in ruins. Their space station was collapsing, and the cascade virus continued to spread like a technological plague. Humanity had won a victory more complete than anyone had dared to imagine. But at what cost? The first shots came from the hegemony destroyers in the outer ring. Beams of pure energy that could vaporize asteroids lanced through space toward the Soul's Fury. The alien weapons were designed to kill with a single hit, and they had never missed a target this large before. They missed now. Pilot Kang Min-ho threw the massive warship into a spiral dive that should have been impossible for a vessel of its size. The Soul's Fury twisted through space like a fighter craft, dodging between energy beams that passed harmlessly through empty space. "How is that ship moving like that?" demanded Admiral Kelthar of the hegemony fleet. On his bridge, tactical officers stared at displays that made no sense. The human ship was performing maneuvers that violated everything they knew about physics and engineering. "Sir," his weapons officer reported, "our targeting computers cannot track their movement pattern. There is no logic to their flight path." That was exactly the point. The Soul's Fury wasn't following any standard tactical doctrine. Human pilots didn't think like alien computers, where alien ships moved in precise calculated patterns. Humans improvised and adapted in real time. "Return fire," Captain Kim ordered calmly. Weapons Officer Han Kyung-soo activated systems that had never been used in actual combat. The Soul's Fury's main guns fired, but what emerged wasn't normal energy beams or projectiles. Instead, streams of what looked like liquid metal shot toward the alien fleet. The first impact hit a hegemony destroyer directly. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the destroyer's shields flickered and died. Its weapons stopped firing. Its engines shut down. Within seconds, the ship was drifting helplessly through space. "What did they do to us?" The destroyer's captain screamed over the communication channels. "Our systems are not responding." The liquid metal weapons were one of humanity's greatest secrets. They weren't designed to destroy ships. They were designed to infect them. Each projectile contained millions of microscopic machines programmed to infiltrate alien computer systems and turn them against their operators. "Sir," reported Park So-young, Direct hit on target. The enemy vessel is showing complete system failure. More alien ships opened fire. The space around the Soul's Fury filled with deadly energy as hundreds of weapons targeted the human vessel. Kang Min-ho pushed the ship's engines beyond their rated limits, weaving between attacks that grew more intense every second. Shields holding at 90%, reported Chief Engineer Lee Dong-min. But we can't keep this up forever. The alien fleet began changing formation. Instead of the neat defensive rings, ships started spreading out to create a wider net. They were adapting to the human ship's unusual tactics, trying to limit its room to maneuver. They're learning, observed Dr. Choi Mi-ran from her station, but not fast enough. The Soul's Fury fired again, this time targeting multiple ships simultaneously. The liquid metal weapons spread through space like a virus, infecting every vessel they touched. One by one, alien ships began losing power, their advanced systems corrupted by human technology they couldn't understand. Impossible, muttered Supreme Chancellor Mordeth from the Apex Throne Station. How are they disabling our ships without destroying them? On his command screen, red indicators showed dozens of vessels going offline. Ships that should have been invulnerable to primitive human weapons were simply shutting down, their crews trapped inside vessels that no longer obeyed orders. Analysis suggests some form of technological virus, reported his science officer. But our systems are designed to be immune to such attacks. Clearly they are not immune enough, Mordeth replied coldly. Order the second ring to close formation. Increase firepower. That ship cannot dodge everything. The heavy cruisers moved forward, bringing larger weapons to bear. These ships carried planet-killer guns that fired compressed matter at near light speed. No single vessel could survive their combined assault. The Soul's Fury suddenly changed direction, diving toward the alien fleet instead of away from it. The maneuver caught the aliens completely off guard. They had expected the human ship to retreat under pressure, not attack directly. They're insane, declared Admiral Vexmore of the Crystalline Empire. No ship that size can survive in the middle of our formation. But the Soul's Fury wasn't trying to survive in the traditional sense. It was trying to get close enough to deploy its real weapons. The liquid metal attacks were just the beginning. Communications officer Shin Da-young intercepted alien transmissions as the Soul's Fury raced through the enemy formation. The alien commanders were panicking. Their perfect battle plan was falling apart as the human ship did, things no rational opponent would attempt. Their command frequency is completely chaotic, she reported to Captain Kim. They're not coordinating effectively anymore. That was another advantage of human unpredictability. Alien military doctrine was based on precise planning and flawless execution. When faced with an opponent who didn't follow any recognizable strategy, their decision-making process began to break down. The Soul's Fury reached the second ring of cruisers and opened fire with everything it had. Multiple liquid metal streams shot out in all directions, striking dozens of targets simultaneously. The effect was immediate and devastating. Entire groups of alien ships went dark as their systems succumbed to the technological infection. Emergency lights flickered on massive vessels as life support struggled to function with corrupted computers. Weapons that had been charging to fire simply shut down. Hull breach on Deck 7, reported Lee Dong-min as an alien energy beam found its mark. Damage control teams responding. The Soul's Fury couldn't dodge everything. As more alien ships joined the battle, the space around them became increasingly dangerous. But for every hit they took, they disabled 10 enemy vessels. Sir, called out Chief Science Officer Bae Sung-min, I'm detecting something strange. The disabled ships aren't just losing power. They're starting to affect nearby vessels. The infection is spreading on its own. Dr. Choi Mi-ran smiled grimly. That's the beauty of network-dependent systems. Once you compromise the network, the infection spreads automatically. The aliens had built their fleet around interconnected technology. Every ship shared data with every other ship through quantum communication networks. It made them incredibly efficient in normal circumstances, but it also meant that what affected one ship could potentially affect them all. Captain, reported Park So-young, we've confirmed hits on over 200 enemy vessels. Approximately 15% of their fleet is now offline or operating at reduced capacity. And we're just getting started, Kim replied. Dr. Choi, is the primary weapon ready? Almost, sir. I need another few minutes to establish a direct connection to their command network. Kim nodded. The liquid metal attacks were devastating. But they were only preparation for the main event. Humanity's real secret weapon was still waiting to be deployed. Around them, the alien fleet struggled to adapt to tactics they had never encountered. Ships designed to fight in organized formations found themselves dealing with an opponent who ignored all the rules of civilized warfare. The battle was far from over, but already the aliens were learning a hard lesson about human ingenuity. When faced with impossible odds, humans didn't surrender. They got creative. The Soul's Fury dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler 442 system. Immediately, every sensor on the ship lit up with contacts. The Council fleet was even more massive than intelligence reports had suggested. "My God," whispered Navigation Officer Nam Hye-jin, staring at her displays. "There are so many of them." Captain Kim Tae-ho stood calmly on the bridge, studying the tactical display. 3,000 alien warships filled the space around the Apex Throne Station. The vessels ranged from sleek hegemony destroyers to massive ethereal battleships that looked like floating cities. Each ship represented the pinnacle of its race's military technology. "Analysis, Commander Park," Kim ordered. Lieutenant Commander Park So-young worked quickly at her tactical station. 7 defensive rings as expected, sir. The outer ring consists of fast attack craft. About 800 ships. Second ring has heavy cruisers. Third ring shows battleships and carriers. The inner rings are protecting the Apex Throne Station itself. The station dominated the center of the formation like a small moon. It was made of some kind of crystal that seemed to bend light around itself. Massive spires reached out in all directions, each one crackling with energy that could probably destroy a planet. "The station is generating some kind of reality warping field," reported Chief Science Officer Bae Sung-min. "I've never seen anything like it. The readings don't make sense according to our physics." Dr. Choi Mi-ran looked up from her computer. "That's because it's not our physics. The ethereals use technology that manipulates space-time itself. The station exists partially outside normal reality." Communication signals flooded the ship as alien vessels detected their arrival. Hundreds of weapon systems locked onto the Soul's Fury. The single human ship looked like a tiny insect surrounded by a swarm of predators. "Incoming communication from the Apex Throne Station," announced Communications Officer Shin De-young. "Put it through," Kim ordered. The main screen filled with the image of an alien unlike any the crew had seen before. It was tall and thin, with skin that seemed to shift between silver and gold. Its eyes were completely black, and when it spoke, its voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. "I am Supreme Chancellor Mordeth of the Ethereals," the alien said. "I speak for the Galactic Council. Human vessel, you have brought our answer?" Kim stepped forward. "I am Captain Kim Tae-ho of the Earthship Soul's Fury. I carry humanity's response to your ultimatum." Around the bridge, his crew watched tensely. They all knew what their captain was going to say. "The answer is no," Kim said simply. "Humanity will not surrender. We will not abandon our colonies. We will not submit to alien control. We choose to remain free." Supreme Chancellor Mordeth's expression didn't change, but something like amusement flickered in his black eyes. "You bring one ship against our entire fleet. Do you believe your species is suicidal, Captain?" "I believe my species is human," Kim replied. "We don't surrender to bullies no matter how big they are." The alien leader made a sound that might have been laughter. "Your arrogance is remarkable. 3,000 ships surround you. Each vessel in our outer ring alone could destroy your primitive craft. Yet you speak of defiance." Behind Kim, Weapons Officer Han Kyung-soo quietly activated the ship's targeting systems. The Soul's Fury's weapons were powered up and ready, though what good they could do against 3,000 enemy ships was unclear. "Perhaps," Mordeth continued, "you do not understand the situation. Allow me to explain." The screen changed to show tactical displays of the Council fleet. The hegemony alone has contributed 500 ships to this gathering. The Crystalline Empire sent 400 of their finest vessels. Every major power in the galaxy is represented here. The display zoomed in on specific ships. Each one was massive, bristling with weapons that could level continents. "Your entire species could not build a fleet to match even 1/10 of what surrounds you now," Mordeth said. "We offer you one final chance to reconsider. Surrender now and your death will be quick." Kim looked around his bridge. His crew was ready. Chief Engineer Lee Dong-min had the quantum core running at maximum efficiency. Dr. Choi Mi-ran had finished preparing their special weapons. Everyone was at their stations waiting for orders. "Supreme Chancellor," Kim said, "I appreciate the offer, but humanity has a saying, 'Give me liberty or give me death.' We choose death before slavery." Mordeth's image flickered with what looked like anger. "So be it. Your species will serve as an example to other young races who think they can challenge the natural order. Captain Kim Tae-ho, you have doomed humanity with your pride." "Maybe," Kim agreed. "Or maybe you've underestimated what humans can do when their backs are against the wall." The communication ended. Around the Soul's Fury, 3,000 alien warships began moving into attack formation. Energy signatures spiked as massive weapons powered up. Shield generators hummed to life. The greatest fleet in galactic history prepared to swat one small human ship out of existence. On the bridge of the Soul's Fury, Captain Kim activated the ship's internal communication system. "All hands, this is the captain. The Council has rejected our peaceful response to their ultimatum. They have chosen war. In approximately 10 minutes, they will begin their attack. We are outnumbered 3,000 to 1. We are outgunned by weapons that can destroy worlds. By every logical measure, we cannot win this fight." Kim paused, looking out at the alien fleet. But logic isn't everything. The aliens think they know what humans are capable of. They think our technology is primitive and our tactics are simple. They think we're just another young race that needs to be taught its place. They're about to learn that humanity doesn't stay in its place. Throughout the ship, crew members smiled grimly and made final preparations. In engineering, Lee Dong-min checked power levels one more time. In the weapons section, Han Kyung-soo armed systems that no alien had ever encountered. In the laboratory, Dr. Choi Mi-ran activated programs that would turn the aliens' greatest strength into their greatest weakness. "The Council wants to make an example of us," Kim continued. "They want other species to see what happens to those who defy galactic authority. They're right about one thing. Today will be remembered throughout the galaxy, but not the way they expect." The Soul's Fury began moving toward the alien fleet, one small ship racing toward impossible odds. Behind them there was no retreat. Ahead of them, 3,000 enemy vessels waited with weapons ready. "Today," Captain Kim said, "we show the galaxy what humanity really is." Captain Kim Tae-ho stood on the bridge of the Soul's Fury, watching the stars through the massive viewing screen. The ship was quiet except for the soft hum of engines and the gentle beeping of computers. His crew worked at their stations, checking systems and running daily reports. Everything seemed normal until the communication panel started flashing red. "Captain, we have an incoming message," said Communications Officer Shin Da-young. Her voice was tense. "It's coming from the Galactic Council." Kim felt his stomach drop. The Galactic Council never contacted human ships directly. They always went through official Earth channels. This was different. This was personal. "Put it on screen," Kim ordered. The viewing screen changed from stars to show a tall, thin alien with blue skin and 4 arms. Kim recognized the species immediately. This was Ambassador Veltaran from the Hegemony, one of the most powerful alien races in the galaxy. The alien's face showed no emotion, but his eyes held something that looked like contempt. "Human vessel Soul's Fury," Veltaran began, his voice cold and mechanical. "I speak for the Galactic Council of 12 races. You will listen carefully to what I say." Kim nodded but said nothing. Around the bridge, his crew stopped their work to listen. Lieutenant Commander Park So-young moved closer to her tactical station, her hand resting near the weapons controls. "The Council has reached a decision about your species," Veltaran continued. "Humanity has expanded too quickly across our galaxy. Your people are violent, unpredictable, and dangerous. You take resources that belong to older, wiser races. You build weapons when you should build peace. You refuse to follow the rules that have kept the galaxy stable for thousands of years." The alien paused, letting his words sink in. Kim felt anger building in his chest, but he kept his face calm. His crew needed to see their captain in control. "Therefore," Veltaran said, The Council offers humanity one chance to survive. You have 72 hours to surrender all human colonies outside your home system. All human military vessels must return to Earth immediately. All humans living on alien worlds must report to detention centers for processing. Your species will be placed under protective custody until you learn to behave properly. Chief Engineer Lee Dong-min looked up from his station, his face pale. Protective custody was what the aliens called slavery. If humanity refuses these terms, Veltaran continued, the Council will have no choice but to eliminate your species entirely. We cannot allow dangerous animals to run free in civilized space. Kim stepped forward. And if we accept your terms, what happens to humanity then? Veltaran smiled, showing sharp teeth. Your people will be safe. The Council will teach you proper behavior. In a few hundred years, perhaps, some humans might be allowed to leave Earth under supervision, but that is for future councils to decide. I see, Kim said quietly. And where should we send our response? The Council waits at the Apex Throne Station in the Kepler 442 system. Veltaran replied. We have assembled our greatest fleet there. Over 3,000 ships from all 12 races. This shows how seriously we take the human problem. Bring your answer there, Captain. The Council will be waiting. The screen went dark. For a moment, the bridge was silent except for the sound of breathing and heartbeats. Captain, said Commander Yoon Jae-sung, the first officer. What are your orders? Kim turned to face his crew. These were good people. Engineers, scientists, soldiers who had volunteered to explore the galaxy and protect humanity's interests. They all knew what the alien ultimatum meant. Surrender meant the end of human freedom. Refusal meant war against impossible odds. Park, what do we know about the Council fleet? Kim asked. Lieutenant Commander Park So-young checked her computer. Long-range sensors confirm at least 3,000 ships in the Kepler system, sir. Every major alien race is represented. We're looking at the combined military might of galactic civilization. And we're one ship, muttered Lee Dong-min. Yes, Kim said. We're one ship. He walked to the center of the bridge, looking at each of his crew members. But we're not just any ship. We're a human ship. And humans don't surrender to bullies. Dr. Choi Miran, the ship's xenobiologist, spoke up. Captain, they have overwhelming numbers. Even if every human ship in space joined us, we'd still be outnumbered 100 to 1. Numbers aren't everything, Doctor, Kim replied. The aliens think they know us, but they don't. They see us as primitive, violent animals. They think our technology is simple and our tactics are crude. They're wrong. Kim activated the ship's internal communication system. His voice would now reach every crew member on the Soul's Fury. This is the captain speaking. You've all heard the alien ultimatum by now. The Galactic Council wants humanity to surrender or die. They think we're animals that need to be caged. They think we're children who need to be taught proper behavior. They're wrong about what humanity really is. He paused, choosing his words carefully. We've been preparing for this day for decades. Every piece of alien technology we've studied, every battle we've fought, every diplomatic failure. It's all led to this moment. The Council thinks they're dealing with the same humans who first stumbled into space 50 years ago. They don't know what we've become. Kim looked out at the stars again. Somewhere out there, 3,000 alien warships waited in perfect formation, confident in their superiority. Set course for Kepler 442, Kim ordered. Maximum speed. Sir, said Navigation Officer Nam Hee-jin, that's directly into the Council fleet. I know exactly where it is, Officer Nam, Kim replied. We're going to give them our answer in person. As the Soul's Fury turned toward the Kepler system, Kim felt a strange calm settle over him. The aliens thought this was the end of humanity's story. They were wrong. This was just the beginning of a new chapter, one that would show the galaxy what humans were really capable of when their backs were against the wall. Behind him, his crew worked with quiet determination. They all knew this might be a one-way trip, but they also knew that sometimes when faced with impossible choices, the only thing to do was refuse to accept defeat. The Soul's Fury jumped to hyperspace, racing toward a confrontation that would change the galaxy forever. The Soul's Fury raced through hyperspace toward the Kepler 442 system. In the engine room, Chief Engineer Lee Dong-min worked frantically at the quantum core controls. Sweat dripped from his forehead as he made careful adjustments to the ship's power systems. More power to the forward shields, he muttered to himself. Rerouting energy flows through crystalline conduits that glowed with blue light. We're going to need every advantage we can get. The quantum core wasn't standard human technology. 3 years ago, the Soul's Fury had captured a damaged alien cruiser. Instead of just studying the wreckage, human engineers had done something the aliens never expected. They improved it. The alien power core was efficient, but human creativity had made it something entirely new. Lee wiped his hands on a towel and activated his communication device. Captain, engineering here. The quantum core is running at 115% of original alien specifications. We've got power to spare. On the bridge, Captain Kim Tae-ho nodded. Good work, Lee. How long can we maintain that level? As long as needed, sir. The human modifications are more stable than the original alien design. Dr. Choi Mi-ran sat in her laboratory, studying data streams from intercepted Council communications. Her screen showed analysis of 12 different alien languages, military codes, and tactical information. She had been working for 18 hours straight, surviving on coffee and determination. The aliens were confident, perhaps too confident. Their communications showed no concern about facing a single human ship. They discussed the coming battle like it was already over. Some alien commanders were even arguing about who would get to fire the killing shot. Interesting, Dr. Choi muttered, highlighting a section of intercepted data. The aliens used a centralized command network that linked all their ships together. Each vessel shared targeting data, tactical information, and shield frequencies with every other ship in real time. It was incredibly efficient and potentially vulnerable. She activated her communicator. Captain, I need to speak with you and Commander Park immediately. In the ship's conference room, Dr. Choi spread her research across the table. Captain Kim and Lieutenant Commander Park So-young studied the alien communication patterns and fleet formations. They're completely networked, Dr. Choi explained. Every ship talks to every other ship constantly. Their entire fleet operates like a single massive organism. It's what makes them so effective in battle. Park studied the tactical data. But if they're all connected, exactly, Dr. Choi said. What affects one ship can potentially affect them all. The aliens think their network is a strength, but networks can be compromised. Captain Kim leaned back in his chair. What do you need? Time and access to our special weapons, Dr. Choi replied. The Council fleet isn't expecting us to understand their technology. They certainly aren't expecting us to turn it against them. Commander Yoon Jae-sung entered the conference room looking tired but alert. Captain, we're 6 hours from the Kepler system. Long-range sensors are picking up the Council fleet. The number of ships matches what the aliens told us. Over 3,000 vessels arranged in perfect formation around their space station. Kim stood up.
How are the crew holding up?
They're nervous but ready, Yoon replied. Everyone knows what we're facing. Nobody's asking to turn back. That was the thing about humans, Kim thought. When faced with impossible odds, they didn't surrender. They got angry. They got creative. They found ways to win that nobody expected. In the navigation section, Officer Nam Hye-jin plotted their approach to the Council fleet. Her calculations showed dozens of possible attack routes, retreat paths, and emergency escape vectors. The problem was that against 3,000 enemy ships, there weren't many good options. The Council fleet is arranged in 7 defensive rings around their station, she reported to the bridge crew. Smallest ships on the outside, largest ships protecting the center. It's a classic formation designed to stop large-scale attacks, but not designed to stop a single fast-moving target, observed Weapons Officer Han Kyung-soo. He had been studying the alien ship designs looking for weaknesses. Their formation assumes they'll face a traditional fleet battle. They're not ready for something unexpected. In his quarters, Captain Kim reviewed classified files that only a few humans knew about. The Soul's Fury wasn't just any warship. It was a prototype vessel built specifically for this kind of mission. For decades, humanity had been preparing for the day when they would face the full might of galactic civilization. Every alien technology humans had encountered had been studied, reverse engineered, and improved. Human engineers didn't just copy alien designs. They understood the principles behind them and made them better. The Soul's Fury carried weapons that no alien had ever seen, powered by systems that exceeded their original specifications. But the ship's greatest advantage wasn't its technology. It was its crew. 800 humans who had volunteered for a mission they knew might be one way. Each crew member was specially trained and prepared for this moment. Captain, came Dr. Choi's voice over the communicator. I've finished analyzing the alien communication protocols. I know how to introduce our virus into their network. But we'll need to get close to their fleet first. How close? Kim asked. Very close. We'll need to be within their defensive perimeter before we can establish a connection to their network. Kim smiled grimly. Getting close to 3,000 enemy warships wasn't going to be easy. But humans had always excelled at doing things that seemed impossible. He activated the ship's communication system. All hands, this is the captain. We are approaching the Council fleet. In a few hours, we will face the combined military might of 12 alien civilizations. They outnumber us 3,000 to 1. They have larger ships, more powerful weapons, and thousands of years of military experience. Kim paused, looking out at the stars. But they don't have what we have. They don't have human stubborn. They don't have human creativity. And they don't have the advantage of being completely underestimated. The aliens think they know what humanity is capable of. Today we're going to show them they're wrong. Throughout the ship, crew members smiled grimly and returned to their preparations. In a few hours, they would drop out of hyperspace directly into the most heavily defended system in the galaxy. The odds were impossible. The enemy was overwhelming and retreat wasn't an option. It was exactly the kind of situation where humans did their best work.